We're about a day away from the start of the next Grand Slam, and as always, expectations are high and the pressure's turned up. The red clay in Paris has always had the ability to surprise us. In recent years, we've seen early exits by the favorites, the rise of a couple upstarts, and payoff for some long trudging workhorses. But this season, perhaps more than others, the warm-up events have shown just how open the entire field is. And while experience surely carries cachet at the majors, I wouldn't be surprised if a few favorites were a little more on edge than usual. I'm talking, of course, about Rafael Nadal. The 8-time French Open titleist and world number 1 returns to Paris with one of the sparsest resumes of his career, having lost his grip on events he usually dominates. That doesn't necessarily mean he'll falter now, but it sure opens the door for others. Novak Djokovic might top that list. The 2012 runner-up very nearly beat Rafa in the semis last year, and he bested the Spaniard in both the Miami and Rome finals. He'd climb back to number 1 with the title here and become the 3rd active player with a career Grand Slam to his name. Motivation like that could really be a big driver. But he won't be the only one in contention. Roger Federer, the only man other than Nadal to claim victory in France in the past decade, clawed his way back to a number 4 seed and has scored wins over the likes of Nole, Andy Murray, and Tomas Berdych this year. And Stan Wawrinka, who shocked the tennis world with his Melbourne campaign, went on to win his first Masters title after that, taking out his compatriot on the clay of Monte Carlo. On the women's side, defending champion Serena Williams rallied from a thigh injury to claim her 3rd title in Rome, and is certainly the favorite at Roland Garros. But clay is traditionally not her best surface, and with just 2 trophies here, this is by far her least prolific major. Players like 2011 champ Na Li could jump on that opportunity. The 2nd seed is coming off her 2nd Grand Slam victory and quarterfinal showings in both Madrid and Rome. And Maria Sharapova, who made the final 2 years in a row, has shown she's still in the mix, claiming crowns in Stuttgart and Madrid. More of a dark horse is 2008 French juniors champion Simona Halep. She hasn't yet passed the 2nd round as an adult, but that could be about to change. Outside the top seeds, though, plenty others could shake things up over the next 2 weeks. Andrea Petkovic cemented her comeback with a title in Charleston, her first since 2011. She hasn't played in Paris in 3 years, but fresh off the quarters in Strasbourg, she could be primed to make a big return to Roland Garros. And don't forget Aussie Cinderella Jeannie Bouchard. She wasn't really tested until the quarters in Melbourne, but wins over Venus Williams and Jelena Jankovic in Charleston, plus the real possibility of her first career title this weekend, back up her performance down under. On the men's side, there's clay court specialist Nicolas Almagro, who's reached the quarterfinals here 3 times before. Last month, he recorded a breakthrough win over Rafael Nadal in Barcelona, so he might have the confidence to pull off even more surprises. Then there's 18th seed Ernest Gulbis, who made the Elite 8 in Paris way back in 2008. He reached the semis in Barcelona and the quarters in Madrid, and after making the final in Nice, it seems momentum's on his side. But as is usually the case at the slams, it's the most unexpected victories that make the best stories. Slovakia's Jana Sepalova is only playing her 2nd French Open, but the Family Circle Cup runner-up notched a big win over Serena during her run there. And junior number 1 Belinda Bencic, the youngest player in the top 100, beat Sara Errani in Charleston and Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova in Rome. Meanwhile, Julia Gerges will try to reassert her position in the sport. Now ranked in triple digits, the one-time world number 15 managed victories over struggling Sloane Stephens and Melbourne breakout Lauren Davis in Strasbourg. Also on the comeback trail is Austria's Jürgen Melzer. The 2010 semifinalist beat both John Isner and Marin Cilic in Rome and reached the quarters in Dusseldorf. Federico Del Bonis could be a spoiler too. The Sao Paulo champion notched his own victory over Isner this past week on his way to the final in Nice. And while fellow Argentine Carlos Berlocq fell a bit earlier at the French Riviera, he beat both Milos Raonic and Tomas Berdych for the title in Portugal and could finally make a statement at a major. As for the other players that have a potential to do something big at this French Open, the door's certainly wide open for them too. Be sure to check out their stories and my wish list of things I want to see this fortnight, and keep clicking back for full coverage of all the action at Roland Garros. Till then, thanks for watching TennisSpin.net.